Who is Zayne Parekh? Parekh is a 6 foot, 181 pound right shot prospect for the 2024 NHL draft. And for Parekh, he is also a defenseman. So another name that could potentially slide depending on how the board plays out. Here's what Elite Prospects had to say about Zayne Parekh. Parekh is a legitimate manipulator. He doesn't wait for holes to open up in the defensive coverage to make a play. He bends opponents to his will and makes those openings for himself. A combination of fakes, feints, look-offs, and handling skill sends would-be checkers into the spin cycle, and out of each cloud of dust emerges Parekh, activating into space to improve the condition of each play before making his decision with the puck. Some of Parekh's stats: he played with the Saginaw Spirit in the OHL this past season. Get this: 33 goals, 63 assists. He had 96 points in 66 games with Saginaw, then had 2 goals, 9 assists, 11 total points in 12 playoff games as well. Last year, he had 21 goals, 16 assists, 37 total points with Saginaw in 50 games, and played in the GTHL for a couple of years before that with the Markham Majors and the Toronto Junior Canadiens. Scott Wheeler has this to say about Zayne Parekh. Parekh has turned me into a total believer over the last 2 seasons, even though that's not the case for everyone. He might even be in a special tier offensively. Last season, despite playing in just 50 of Saginaw's 68 games after missing 3 weeks due to injury from the end of February into March, and another couple for the World Under-17 Hockey Challenge, where he scored 3 goals and 5 points in 7 games as the highest scoring defenseman on a 4th place finishing Canada Black. He still broke the OHL's all-time goals record by a U17 defenseman, scoring 21 times and regularly looking dynamic on the puck as a rookie. An OHL Cup All-Star and first-round pick into the OHL before that, Parekh was then the most talented offensive defenseman in junior hockey this year, winning the CHL's Defenseman of the Year award and scoring and producing at an all-time great draft year rate, breaking the 30-goal and 90-point mark as the leading scorer on the Memorial Cup hosts by more than 20 points. He was also extremely impactful against the 3 best teams in the CHL at the Memorial Cup. Though he has missed some playoff games due to an upper body injury, I'm told he also played through in the games he did play in. He was also still a difference maker for Saginaw in the postseason when played. He plays an aggressive and natural offensive style that looks to attack off the line into the slot or even the front of the net or below the goal line. He'll also regularly involve himself in the rush, much like a winger does, driving down the wall in control to look to challenge defenders and attack into his shot or create an odd man rush. He's extremely confident on offense and opening up his feet where necessary around the zone without going to his heel-to-heel by default. He's got great hands and a casual-looking skating posture. He's got excellent feet crossing over and falling onto his heels, but he does lack speed in straight lines going forward, which he uses to carry pucks with a visual ease and beat the first layer of pressure to get to his spots. When the puck arrives on his stick, it just seems to stop and glue to him through his movements. A very rare quality that almost makes him look lackadaisical with the puck because it's settled so easily into his pocket and upright stance. He likes to roam, but he's also learning to pick his spots better, and his head is constantly on a swivel to identify where he is in relation to his teammates. When he plays freely, which is almost always, you're drawn to him whenever he touches the puck because he's always a threat to make something happen, and he sees and identifies plays early. He protects the puck extremely well with players leaning on him, escaping situations you wouldn't expect him to, and often avoiding contact with deft little pre-planned plays, though he'll also take a hit to make a play. He's got great footwork and edges to manipulate across the line and stop up along the boards to change directions or to maintain gaps. Wheeler says, I know some scouts were interested to see how he'd do at the CHL NHL top prospects game on ice testing, and he performed well. He's still not the fastest going forward, but his maneuverability compensates. And I also believe he defends at a high enough level to be given free rein to go out there and be himself offensively. Though his defense has been a common criticism among scouts at times, Wheeler would argue he's got a great stick, which is long and which he hides really well until an opportunity to be disruptive presents itself, and reads the play at a high level in anticipation. Wheeler has liked what he's seen from him on the penalty kill, and even though he definitely doesn't play a physical style and can get exposed for not being hard enough in engagements, Wheeler thinks he's made important progress in his own zone, and he's also become a very chippy, mouthy, pest-like player. There are times when his posture will look disengaged and upright, and you'd like him to really get low and battle, but he's playing to win pucks with his stick and does so quite well. He's never going to be a staunch defender. Add in a frame that is a little more mature, and Wheeler thinks people realize and give him credit for that he is a very good communicator. He's constantly talking on the ice, passes that are almost always tape to tape and perfectly flat, and ability to draw penalties, escaping pressure as well as just about anyone in the draft. He is never in trouble. And a want to have the puck and make a difference. And there's a very high-end package. He played huge minutes for a top team this season. They never sheltered him because they needed him out there, and they trusted him. And if he can defend at a reasonable level in the NHL, which Wheeler believes he'll be able to, he's got star power offensively. He won't be for every team, but Wheeler says he would pick him early without much hesitation and bet on the rare skill. Here's what the hockey writers have to say. Jordan Orth putting this profile together. And Orth notes that the rankings, NHL Central Scouting has Parekh 10th. Craig Button, his midseason rankings had him 8th. The hockey writers, Baracchini had him 8th. Horn 11th, and Forbes 8th. Bob McKenzie has him 9th. McKean's Hockey 10th. Sportsnet 7th. FC Hockey 11th, and Dobber Prospects 6th. Here's what Orth has to say. After a rookie season in the 2022-2023 season that saw Zayne Parekh set the Ontario Hockey League record for most goals from a defenseman aged 17 or younger with 21 goals, while benefiting from playing alongside Pavel Mintyukov for the first 37 games of the season, he showcased his strong offensively minded game. His 2023-2024 season has seen even more growth offensively, while also improving his defensive game. He has quarterbacked the Spirit's top power play unit, which sits toward the top of the OHL rankings, while showcasing his strong passing and playmaking abilities. He has not shied away from shooting the puck either, though letting his strong shot be on display a lot. He has also taken on roles in all situations for the team, becoming one of their top penalty killers. His offensive game is only the beginning of Parekh's arsenal. He has possibly some of the softest and best hands of all the defensemen in this year's draft class, which has made him getting through the neutral zone on rushes look rather easy. His stick handling has also come in handy while making quick moves in the offensive zone to make escape-type moves when pressured to give himself more space to make a play in the zone. His strong, smooth skating has also helped factor into his strong play through the neutral zone. This has helped Parekh set Saginaw Spirit records for defensemen in a season in a few different categories. While Parekh's offensive game and play with the puck have been massive bright spots in his game, his defensive game is lacking from time to time. He seems to lack a sense of urgency to make plays in his end of the ice, and his lackadaisical play has come back to haunt him a few times this season. Even though his smooth skating has been a positive for him, it has also been at times nonchalant, creating turnovers and rushes for his opponents. Overall, though, Parekh can keep his opponents in check defensively thanks to his good closing speed and stick work while defending. Parekh's draft projection. With the 2024 draft being stocked with defensemen at the top of the class, Parekh maybe find himself being the 4th or 5th defenseman taken in the draft. He could find himself slotting anywhere from early to mid-teens, from the early to mid-teens come June. And his NHL potential. Parekh has all of the potential to have the same impact that his former teammate Mintyukov has had for the Anaheim Ducks due to his offensive game. With the right development and added muscle and weight to his frame, he could become a top 4 defenseman on whatever team takes him, while also being able to man a power play unit as well. The biggest question mark on his game transitioning to the next level comes down to the transition of his style being viewed as loose. While the system that the Saginaw Spirit runs allows him to do this, the NHL game is slightly different. A comparison for Parekh is a mix of Cale Makar, Adam Fox, and Quinn Hughes. His skating ability is reminiscent of both Makar and Hughes, while his offensive skill set is comparable to all 3 current NHLers. So there you have it. Zayne Parekh, another potential option for the Wild at 13. Obviously, the offensive talent is unrivaled amongst the rest of the players in this draft. But I worry a little bit about the defensive side of things. And, you know, this would be a situation where the team that he goes to, if you have a really solid, sound defensive defenseman, that would be a good compliment for Parekh to go to that situation and to have somebody kind of cover some of his ground, while also then allowing him to fully maximize his offensive talents. But still, it's hard to argue the talent. It will be interesting to see if he is potentially an option for the Wild at 13.